I don't believe that we can talk about strengthening our transportation infrastructure separately from what we need to do with the state budget. As your next senator, I strongly advocate some structural changes in the Louisiana budget. In a word, we need to cut spending so that we can have more, allow taxpayers and small businesses to keep more of their money, and we need to cut state government spending so that we can do three things: strengthen transportation infrastructure, fix our roads; two, strengthen our colleges and universities; number three, support health care. I believe that there are some structural things that can be specifically done to cut state spending and fortify our budget, our state budget. Number one, I believe that Louisiana has one of the highest per capita numbers of state employees in the United States. I think we need to allow the state government to shrink through attrition. Number two, Louisiana has a very high number, an inordinately high number of supervisory employees who supervise one person themselves. I think we need to be more careful about giving people supervisory positions where they're not supervising people. I'm not advocating that we go in and fire a bunch of people. We're compassionate, but I think we need to allow the state government to shrink through attrition. Number two is Treasury. Number three is Treasury. Treasurer John Kennedy has stated the state needs to restructure the way it serves Medicaid patients. They ought to be treated in doctors' clinics rather than in ERs. That would result in savings of hundreds of millions of dollars to our state. Additionally, and I think I'm on point number four, I think we got to get a handle on the handouts of billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to huge out-of-state corporations. I think we need to look long and hard at the corporate welfare, because what's happening is middle-class people, working families, small businesses, family-owned businesses, locally owned businesses are in effect subsidizing Walmart, Exxon, Walt Disney, Valero. We need to cut the corporate welfare. And again, that's not just huge tax breaks. Last year, the state handed out over $2 billion to large corporations. I believe that we need to encourage our people through our tax structure and through our entitlement process to move people from entitlement to opportunity, from handouts to hard work. I believe that with respect to the size of state government, we need to consider lateral transfers. If we have a department or division or a component of the state government that is overstaffed, I think we need to consider transferring people from where there's a surplus of available human resources to places where there's a need. We just need to use some common sense in our budgeting process. And the state government needs to do what every working family in District 38 is expected to do: live within their budget. If we do those things and get a handle on budget, we can strengthen our roads. And if my time's not running out, I'll say this. I believe that if we do this, some people have talked, well, we need a gas tax. The voters may want that. And obviously, if the voters of this district want this, I need to hear that. But before we go ahead and take on additional, I'm a small government, low tax guy. I think before we buy on additional tax that we need to make sure that we're spending our money as efficiently as possible. Let's cut the size of state government. And I believe that if we attack the budget and make structural changes in the state budget in all these ways that we've discussed, and of course in other ways we need to look at all the dedicated funds in the state budget, the constitutional dedication of the funds. That's making it harder to cut the budget and cut spending. But if we look at the constitutional dedications, if we allow the number of employees to reduce through attrition, if we look hard at reducing supervisory positions for people that don't supervise, if we go ahead and consider, thank you so much, but we need to get a handle on the state budget, then I believe we're going to have the money to do what we need to do: fix the roads.